Sorry, Abhilash. I remember we advertised this on Facebook, so maybe if we could stream the old way, at least there, maybe that would come up for folks. Gangze gani zo gedanze jensheba drachomba yangdaba zobe sonje reba dang shabsu demba dewa sheba jiden jemba chebo dewe kalo jorwa lana meba ladami namgi temba sangye chongdende pe jawa shakya tuba la chazelo chede gyazu chi Tumba chondende dejin sheba drachomba yangdaba zobe sanje reba dang shabsu demba dewa sheba jiden jemba chebu dewe kalo jorwa lana meba ladami namgi tumba sangye chondende be jawa shakya tubala chazelu chede gyazu chi Gangze gani zo gedanze sachen de la gomba dumbo ne ngani jiten dina joshe sun deze geba chela chazalo namda kunga chodo susanga yeshe gyatso segi lombo tra traba jiten sumna lamewa gombo chenye kela chazalo zenjo demba jime dawe Sedo Jawa Kila Chazalo Dije Kedra Siba Sumachi Nyame Kenshin Kila Chazalo Gombo Tuje Chedemba Tamshi Kemba Tombabo Sunam Yenten Gyatso Jin Dejin Shela Chazalo Dabe Deja Jawa Gyo Gewing and Sung Leja Ching Chidu Dundam Shujo Ba Jijo Chela Chazalo Jene Jawe Lam Yantin Laba Dala Rabdune Shingi Damba Yunden Den Kenden Layan Chazalo Sangye Tsula Chazalo Kyeba Chela Chazalo Gendin Chela Chazalo Sumla Tatu Gujaze Jaja Riba Tamshela Shinde Kungi Jane Ki Lude Bayi Namgundu Chodu Debe Chazalo Deba Chige Chia Michajing Gewa Bunsun Sumso Soba Che Rangi Semni Nundu Dini Sangye Tempa Yin Kama Rare Mamedan Gyuma Zuba Chubudan Milam Lodan Jintabur suje chenan di da da sunan di ye tamje ziba ye gopan tene genge jadu de gadan nadan chiwe la jube sibe zule jowa jowa resho. So we'll go to the mandala offering. And we'll do the mandala offering. Because of the vows today, we'll do both the normal one we do and the request to the teacher to turn the Dharma wheel. So no, that's not it. Please go down slowly. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yes, yes. It's these two verses. Yep, yep. Soji begi joshi medo dramri rablinji And the last prayer is the refuge and bodhicitta. Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu bardu dani gyatsu chi dagi chunyen gibe sunangi jola benjir sange jobar sho. Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu bardu dani gyatsu chi dagi chunyen gibe sunangi jola benjir sange jobar sho. Chedan sogi chenam la jangchu bardu dani gyatsu chi dagi chunyen gibe sunam gi jola benjir sange jobar sho. So I'm just going to close the recording notification so that Geshe can see all of you as he transmits the vows.
Just
Sorry. Okay.
kapat diyorsun.
Decent.
Yeah, this one. This one.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's all say, what that Tomani, Kakalon, Nicala in the Nijin Nicala in the Retaka, Dina, Tash, and do the session in what the catching what they are.
So as we say, motivation is important in the beginning, motivation is important in the middle, and motivation is important in the end. And it is for that reason that we need to pay attention to the motivation.
Oh, that you know, the Kalodun day to the Tangan, and do the session, the Netani Jikatoneta, gom the DJIs.
And so because of that, then as a motivation for receiving these bodhisattva vows, we're going to take a moment to reflect on points related to bodhicitta and refuge. And we're also going to do some meditations together to arise great compassion.
Oh, that gums at the Tatso, the Nats Shitsasona, that go to the Tatso, Church and Donella, that no to Bashiat.
And we know, right, that through hearing, but it's really through meditation on the essential points, that we're going to develop more and more feeling for the positive mental qualities within our mind, and that we're really going to be able to bring forth realization, right? So that's important.
Oh, that gums and
And we know that the Tibetan word for meditation, gom, it means familiarity. And if we want to become familiar with something, what do we need to do? We need to do it again and again. So with our meditations, we need to engage with these important points again and again. So let us please just take a few moments to settle our body and our mind in a state of peacefulness, in a state of relaxation. Think my body and mind are relaxed. My body and mind are at peace. Think the ability to be able to encounter every human I meet, indeed every sentient being I meet, and to see them as a precious, wish-fulfilling jewel. If I train my mind, I will be able to do that. It is said that even those beings that reside in the Pure Lands, in those perfect Pure Lands, when they look to this desire realm and they see human beings who possess this rebirth with the 8 freedoms and the 10 richnesses, they think, how fortunate are those beings? So think, to be able to have this human rebirth within my grasp, within my hand right now, this is such a precious opportunity. On the basis of this human rebirth, in terms of the minor happinesses, the temporary happinesses of samsara, I have all the tools that I need to be able to secure those. And in order to achieve the welfare of both myself and others, to achieve meaningful happiness for myself and others, this human rebirth is the perfect vessel which enables me to do that.
tendriga te za chimbo tel ta nima ta da rone la ta tanjola nimbo le to ba chingo tsugi so ba.
On the basis of this human rebirth, I understand that right now I want to engage in the activities that allow me to take its essence, that allow me to make this life meaningful.
Nimbo tembo lemba shabala zo ta shando to seshe niga tuni ta banro ko de so ba.
And in order to be able to take its essence effectively, what's the steps that I want to take? I want to be able to bring forth the minds of refuge and bodhicitta within my continuum.
Tela shaya te za chimbo mo chigo ya iza dombe ngone rongen da jin no kala singe chimbo jege te rombo chi cha pasu ba chi ta.
So, as a beginning step with this first point of refuge, let's visualize in a beautiful space in front of us, upon a jeweled ground and throne held up by 8 lions, we visualize the fundamental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha.
Lama yodo sonji shose kandi kone ta juyo ba chi.
He is surrounded by the lamas, the yidams, and the Buddhas and the bodhisattvas. If you want to make the visualization vast, you can visualize like that.
Runga yaya la ta pamani zo shipiga ta ndo ari chuga sinji yuzu mashi te ko mei no ba che yo so.
And then we can visualize down at our level, on either side of us are our parents, our mother and our father, and we imagine that behind them are all the 6 types of sentient beings in samsara, but in the form of humans, so that we can more easily develop mercy for their suffering.
Jawa sedo chiba ngaro sondo ari chuga sinje yuzul matu nyewe gone zide yo sambaji.
Lagi.
Sonji do sonji samba koros ngaro sul tu nyewe gone ma zide yo sambaji.
And we imagine that the Buddhas and their children, the Buddhas and the bodhisattvas, are pleased with the practice that we've done. And they are close to us.
Ruru sasingeni kaze tatata tembodo. Siwo koyi gni ta jin diwi gni ba nyaso sala soba. One koyi ga ji ba nyatsu mombo ji yar chara mombo te ji kaze tata ya chema ji ko yares.
And as we visualize these objects of the field of refuge, we should contemplate their qualities, that they can protect us from the fears of samsara, cyclic existence in general, as well as the fears of the lower realm in particular, that they can protect us from all within cyclic existence. So contemplate their qualities like that.
Nga sete za chimbo tsete ade nyeso sol ta shawashimani pa nyeso sol mando yiga nipa tembo tanda tomandus.
And we should think, I need to rely upon these objects of refuge, because if I think of myself, if I think of this I that I cherish, I understand that I can't say for sure that I've closed the doors to the lower realms.
Kwa shi yin ji ba le chu de le chu ta zhuo yi ge ta ni ba de tao ma de si. Kwa shi cha tu wen ji ba ma mo ya ra was. Den ji ge ta ji ba yo zhuo le zhuo yi ni ba de ta da ma de si.
Similarly, the causes of cyclic existence, or samsara in general, I have not been able to close these off completely through my own efforts.
Rung zong de ma ze anen duwa ri zhuo ge sen je ke ta mo bo ji mo qian wa ji de rung jin zi la tian de ta nge so se ge ga nge kwa yin ji ba mo bo ji la tian de ta ga nge nyo de si.
And this just isn't the situation of myself. But if we look at all other sentient beings, due to self-cherishing and self-grasping, they might be born in the 3 lower realms of existence, or they might experience problems, suffering, in whichever realm of samsara they find themselves.
Shirin ya so se ga nge ane de le chu ca che ge kwa yin ji ba le ta duwa ri zhuo ge sen je yu zu ta na che ma ru ta wa che che ta wa da ge sha go nyo bi tu ne ta ni ji bu chi se ta.
So think how wonderful it would be if myself and all sentient beings were free from the sufferings of samsara in general and the 3 lower realms in particular. How wonderful if they were free of those sufferings and their causes. I myself alone will help them to be free. Contemplate compassion.
Tombo so so ge ji ye jin ze pu su zu ba ji ji le xie wa xin ne de ne ye la yu de no ji xie wa xin ne ta ga nge de da le zhuo wa xie ge yi so ba ji.
Think, by bringing forth within my mind an attitude which cherishes others, may that be the beginning of me being able to truly help them, to truly free them from suffering.
Ji yin ji ba ta dan zem zuo dan zem ma ri ba rong jin ze o ta de da yong ge ta nga ru su ka nga ru ji ka nga ane ko wa le ko de ta de le zhuo wa xia ge yi so ba ji.
Think, for myself and all sentient beings, it is the grasping at the I, the grasping at permanence, and the self-cherishing attitude which keeps us rooted in samsara and encountering these difficulties. May I be able to free myself and all sentient beings from these 3 factors that keep us in samsara.
Rong jin yu zu ji yin ji ba de da le cha na che ma ru cha wa chi chi cha wa nga ru rong ge xie ge yi so ba ji.
May myself and others be completely free from all of these fears and problems. I myself alone will actualize that for myself and others.
Den ri ge che da lo rong ye lo ri zhuo ge se je yu zu li ngo yu zu le zhuo yi de da gen zhu sa le xia de mo zhuo yi so ba ji.
And it is to be able to actualize the freedom from all suffering for myself, others, all of the 6 types of beings within samsara, that I go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. That is the ultimate reason.
대용 소지 마도 받아 데비테 니네 더 메아에서 다 생지 유주고 쳐도 사 손지 지고 너도 봐서 이 선바대
But realistically, in terms of all of these aspirations that I've brought forth in meditation, the only way to fully actualize them, to fully work for myself and others, is to achieve the state of full enlightenment, complete Buddhahood. Therefore, may I achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
텐데 더 토그레스 제세 가르레 잘라바이나 마로소 강에 강가 제게 제단즈 마리 바테는 롤로파치렌데 제체만두 단즈 마리 바테는 자테체만만두 롤로파치렌데 소바테.
Then the question becomes, can I realistically achieve that Buddhahood, achieve that state of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings? The answer is that absolutely you can. Why? Because the chief mistaken mind, which is the obstacle to achieving that enlightenment, the ignorance grasping at the self, is a completely mistaken mind. It is a mind completely absent of any valid reasons. And for that reason, the ignorance grasping at the self can definitely be overcome.
니카게 대시 타투게 대시 간지지 나요다 예 진절라 때문에 더 봐지는데 대를 자대체마 다 부서 주바신도 대이자 땐데도 더 그래 손바지.
In terms of that mind which will allow me to actualize these aspirations, to achieve all temporary and ultimate happiness for myself and others, this mind that cherishes others, it is unmistaken, grounded in reason, and stainless. For this purpose, for this reason, I can definitely bring it forth. To be able to actualize this state for the sake of all sentient beings, I have all the facilities I need to actualize it. I have all of the internal potentials I need to actualize it. Therefore, feel joy at being able to actualize it. So think through all the merits that I've accumulated by bringing forth these minds in meditation. May this be the foundation of merits to be able to perfectly receive the bodhisattva vows today. So we'll pause there. Yeah. So just what's going to happen next is we'll So what's going to happen next is we're going to recite the verse to receive the bodhisattva vows, And of course, Geshe in his way, right, he never leaves you without explanation. So we may pause at different points in the verse and he'll give little explanations and then we'll repeat again. But we thought that maybe just so that people know what they're reciting, I'll just read the verse in English once so that you kind of feel you know what's happening. So I'll read this out once. O Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Gurus, please listen to what I now say from the depths of my heart. Just as all the Buddhas of the past have developed the thought of enlightenment, true bodhicitta, then practiced its stages of graded development following the trainings of all Buddha's children, so may I too, for the sake of all beings, develop bodhicitta and follow the trainings exactly as all bodhisattvas have done. So as we go through, we'll repeat this after Geshe. I'll tell you when you need to repeat, and we'll also probably get some explanation. Losoke.
Oda porque carece Jesus pachu tu no le tempo chevi start ya to tempo sta shon Jesus be domba ne ta shara mu shikitini kas yoba yina. Nika chile koshalan ra wach sono to ne dan res.
So Geshe said also, in terms of if you're receiving these bodhisattva vows, but maybe you're not yet familiar with them, or maybe you are not sure about how do I cultivate the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections connected with this bodhisattva path, then you can think that you're receiving them not in an engaging way, but as a blessing, as an aspiration. And in fact, this is one of the very special characteristics of the bodhisattva vows. With most vows or precepts, you're not allowed to study them until you have first received them. But with the bodhisattva vows, actually, you can study these extremely extensively before you receive them if you like.
This one, what I get a more case, what there's a chance of shiki the Takora Devache, one Devache, Yokinata, just a bit domba.
And so then for those of you who are maybe familiar with the bodhisattva vows, or at least you have great faith in bodhicitta, then as we recite these verses, think that I am really receiving the actual bodhisattva vows. So in the beginning of this, right, we meditated a little bit on suffering and a little bit on samsara and so forth. And this may be something that is a little bit kind of difficult for the mind, seemingly. But actually, when we do these meditations, it should help us to feel courageous, because we understand that the cause of these problems, the ignorance grasping at the self, the ignorance grasping at permanence, and the self-cherishing attitude, all of these are things that can be cleared away. So from that angle, we should feel hopeful. And actually, if we take a moment to reflect carefully, we can see that all of our daily problems, all of the problems and sufferings that others encounter, and so many of the great problems that are facing us as the world, these can ultimately be traced back to these 3 attitudes of ignorance grasping at permanence, ignorance grasping at the self, and the self-cherishing attitude. And so actually, as practitioners, we know, right, that we can reduce these minds a little bit. Like, you know, if we set our mind to it, we can reduce these minds of ignorance grasping at the self, grasping at permanence, and the self-cherishing attitude. But what happens is we don't really apply ourselves, right? So we do a little bit of the practices, we reduce it a little bit, and then we kind of step back and go back into our normal attitude. And in terms of the benefits of the bodhisattva vows, these have been explained many times, but just in a capsule, it means that when we are sleeping, when we are eating, when we are walking from one place to another, whatever activity we are engaged in, on the basis of maintaining these bodhisattva vows, there is a constant rain of virtue that we are accumulating.
오다 돈바텔다 니빠 만라와더니 지와래 저도 쇼주제 시와 저거 페이지 멤버 세 시와 저기 페이지 뭐래든 콜 만라와다 미사거더니 요아래.
And this is the extraordinary power of these bodhisattva vows. So generally, just to be clear, even just kind of bringing forth the thought or a contemplation of bodhicitta is very meritorious. Even bringing forth the aspiring bodhicitta without the vows is extremely meritorious. But receiving engaging bodhicitta with the bodhisattva precepts is the most incredibly meritorious and beneficial. So think in front of the Buddhas and their children that we visualized at the beginning of the session. I am actually receiving these bodhisattva precepts. And it's a great opportunity both for those of us who have received these vows, but maybe they have degenerated, to renew them. And for those of us who are perhaps have not received the vows before, but are ready to receive them newly on this holy day, it is also a great opportunity. And if you are one of those fortunate ones who have received these bodhisattva vows and they have not degenerated, then you are supremely fortunate because they will be strengthened within your continuum even more. So what we'll do is, having brought forth this motivation, mindfully just do your best, doesn't have to be perfect, do your best to repeat the verses after Geshe. And so in terms of the verse that we recite, which is the foundation for receiving the vows that come later, this is the three causes of being able to receive the bodhisattva vows, which are the minds of rejoicing, confession of negativities, and refuge. And then also we are thinking that just as the previous Buddhas invited all sentient beings, so I will invite all sentient beings as my guests. And so we see all sentient beings as our guests. What that means is we see all sentient beings as attractive, as beautiful, with this mind of affectionate love. So I think that Geshe is using a different verse, which begins, I go for refuge to the three jewels. I confess individually all negative actions. I rejoice in the merits of all sentient beings. Then I hold with my mind a Buddha's enlightenment. I invite beings as my guests. So that's the next one that's the meaning of the words that we're going to recite. Konjo somla, dachabji, dipa tamche, soso sha, joye gela, jay rang. So what we've repeated after Geshe are bringing forth refuge, confessing our negativities, and rejoicing in virtues. Sanje jangshu yigi sun, Sangye chudang socho la, Jangshu bardu dachabchi, Rangje dunu rabdu chir, Jangshu sena cheparji, Jangshu choki semla cheje ne, Semshen tamche dagi dundu nyer. So we are inviting all sentient beings into our lives as our guests at this point. Really imagine doing that. And so having invited all of them as our guests, it wouldn't be okay if we didn't offer them anything to help them, if we didn't offer them any refreshments. Drola penche sangye droba sho.
le tombo sone le ni ba yo nga je ji den je ba sha.
So that is the first recitation. Now imagine that together with Geshe we are repeating the second recitation.
Kencho sa la da sha che.
Kuncho sumla dachabchi.
De ba tongche so so sha.
Diba tamche soso sha.
Roi ge la ji yo rong.
Joy gela jay rong.
Ji shang ju yi ji zu.
Sangye jangshu yigi sung.
Ji che tong chu chu la.
Sangye chudang socho la.
ju ba da sha che.
Jangshu bardu dachabchi.
Rong je den na ra zhe she.
Rangchi denu radu che.
ju sen na xie ba je.
Jangshu senu cheba ji.
ju chu ge sen na xie ji ne.
Jangshu choki semla cheje ne.
sen che tong che da ge den de ne.
Senshin tangche dagi dundu nyer.
ju xian chu ye gong xie ba je.
Jangshu chechu yong cheba ji.
la pe she song jin zhe wa shu.
Rola penche sangye droba sho.
ta le ni ba sun le ni le sen be ta le ta ma de le ta xiong ji sen be dong ba. Sa ba yi ta pe sa ba yi ne sa ba to shu so ba ta nga nyong ba ji ne nyong ba ba ya bo cha so cha so.
And so that is the second recitation. When we complete the third recitation after Geshe, what he'd like you to contemplate is, if you haven't received these before, imagine that the bodhisattva vows have been established in your continuum. If you've received them before, but some of the precepts have degenerated, imagine that they are reinvigorated. If you have received the bodhisattva precepts before and they have not degenerated, imagine that they become even stronger in your continuum.
Kuncho
sun la da chab chi.
Diba tongche so so sha.
Diba tamche so so sha.
Roi ge la ji ye rong.
Roi ge la ji rong.
Songji xiang ju yi ji zu.
Sangye jiangshu yi gi sung.
Songji chi tong cu chu la.
Sangye chu dong so chu la.
Xiangju ba de da sha che.
Jiangshu ba du da chab chi. So now we are actually take a moment to meditate on that uncommon Mahayana refuge. That's what's being expressed here.
Rangji
donu radu chir. Now we contemplate, I am doing this to be able to achieve my own ultimate welfare and also the ultimate welfare of all sentient beings. And what does this line point out? It points out that the best way to achieve my own welfare, the best way to achieve the welfare of others, is through bringing forth the bodhicitta intention. And so in this way we can think that we are aspiring to achieve bodhicitta very strongly. Minsem, yeah. Rangshu dunu rabdu chir. Jangshu senni chepar ji. Jangshu choki senla cheje ne. Semchen tamshi dagu dundu nyer. Jangshu chechu yong chepar ji. Rola penchir sangye drobar sho. And so we should feel joy, for example, if we've received these precepts but haven't been able to really keep them perfectly. We think any degeneration has completely been cleared away, and we feel joyful because of that. And if you haven't received these before, you're receiving them for the first time today, think how fortunate I am to be able to receive these precious bodhisattva precepts and to be able to activate the potential, the lineage within my mind to actualize bodhicitta. Dede datsu debu ye. Mi sibar leba to. Dering sangye ritsu che. Sanje sesu dajo to. Dani chine kyang. Ridang tumbe le tsamte. Kyume tumbe ride la. Nyomba migyo detar ja. So I'll just read out these verses of rejoicing and remembering. Now my life has been given meaning. This human life has been made worthwhile. Today I am born into the family of Buddhas. I have now become a Buddha's child. From now on, in every way possible, I shall act in accord with this lineage. This flawless, pure lineage I shall never disgrace. And think, accordingly, with this promise I made, with joy, I will guard my activities of body, speech, and mind. And then think on this very special day when the Buddha came into this world, this supreme among the holy days. I am so very fortunate to have been able to engage together with everybody in this holy activity of receiving the vows, in accumulating these merits. And so then in this way we are going to dedicate these very vast merits. So yesterday somebody said, oh, please give us a chance to get the dedications on the screen. So yep, that's the first one we'll do. Abhilash, yep, that first one. Jangjo semjo rinpoche amaje banam jejo reji jeba nyamba meba yang gone gonde bewa resho. And go a little bit down. Yeah. Toni tawa rinpoche amaje banam jejo reji jeba nyamba meba yang Gone gondu bewarisho. And go down a little bit more. No. Okay. Keep going. Okay. All right. Maybe it's not there. Anyways, we'll just recite. Jambe pao jidar kiamba dang kudu zambo deyon dejente deda kungi jesu dalo chir bewa dida tongje rabdu ngo gyutsum gewa Jawa jebjegi ngowa gangla tutu ngabade dagi gewe tsawa diku kyang zambo jeje radu ngowargi. We'll do His Holiness's long life prayer. Gangri rawe gowe jinkandir pendan dewa malu jongwe ne chenre ziwan tenzin jazoyi jabe zide badu tengyoji. So through the merits that we have collected, may dedicate these merits to all of the 6 types of sentient beings, for them to bring forth perfect method and perfect wisdom, so that they can cross the ocean of samsara to lasting happiness. And today on this wheel turning day, we think that maybe one of the principal people turning the wheels of the Dharma is His Holiness the Incomparable 14th Dalai Lama. So may his life be long, and may he continue to turn the Dharma wheel, and may all valid teachers who benefit sentient beings abide long and continue to turn the Dharma wheel. And let's rejoice. For example, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, currently in Ladakh, preaching the Dharma, turning the Dharma wheel for a vast assembly of sentient beings there. May the sun of happiness, through the powers of our merits, may the sun of happiness shine upon all 6 types of beings in samsara without exception. All right, we'll leave it here. So Geshe said today, because it was a holy day, right, we had this short kind of ceremony to receive the vows, but hopefully, right, he can give an explanation of these more extensively in the future. He hopes to have that opportunity. Sani tomba naninga yang tomba re do again. Weekend jemara. Yeah. And so we're on a lighter summer schedule, so this weekend we will not see you, but the following weekend we'll see, for those of you who are going to be attending the Vajrayogini, we'll see you Saturday, and we will see all of you hopefully on Sunday for our teaching on the Lojong. So Geshe wishes you all Tashi Dele, and he wishes you all a wonderful wheel turning festival day, a wonderful Chokhor Duchen. Take care, everybody. So I'm crawling because my foot's totally asleep. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.